Can you actually 3D print your everyday carry? Not just quick prints or one-off ideas, but real functional tools you trust to use every day? Because EDC is about having the right tools on you, and 3D printing is all about making the tools to fit your exact needs. So when those two overlap, you end up with some pretty interesting solutions. Hey guys, I'm Spencer here from 3D Printing Canada. In a video last month, we showed off 10 prints you can make from the end of your filament spools. And a few of those really stood out to people in the EDC space. Things like wallet-sized phone stands, a whistle, even NFC chips. I'll leave a link to that video here if you'd like to check it out. But after seeing your comments asking for more, I wanted to go deeper and put together a full list of 3D printable EDC items you can actually use every day. And since EDC items need to survive real use, we're going to be testing out a few new materials from Unveilform's lineup, including their matte and metallic silk PETG filaments, all available in our store right now. For this video, I'm going to be printing with the matte black, matte white, as well as the blue metallic silk PETGs. We'll talk more about those as we go, but let's get into it, starting with the stuff that lives on your keys. First up, a shopping cart key. I stopped carrying cash a while back, which also means no coins for shopping cart locks. Now I keep one of these on my cart keys permanently, so it's always there when I need it. I've seen a few versions of these 3D printed shopping cart coins going around, but I really like this one designed by Epic 3D on MakerWorld, which utilizes a flexible hinge to accommodate coins of a variety of currencies, and you don't need to leave it in your cart once it's been unlocked. I'll inevitably spot somebody at the cart return digging through their pockets, so I'll often offer them this little tool for them to keep for next time. These only take a few grams and a few minutes to print, so I often keep a stack of these handy, and it's a great example of how 3D printing can make useful things that everyone can enjoy. Since this part needs to flex every time you use it, this is one you'll definitely want to print in PETG like many others in this list. Speaking of, next is Carabiners. A quick disclaimer, this is not for climbing or anything load-bearing. But for everyday use, these carabiners are incredibly handy. Clipping your EDC items together, organizing and attaching gear to bags, it's one of those items that ends up pulling more weight than you expect. I tried out this model by Enter Design on MakerWorld, and I love this clever compliant mechanism for the gate that gives it the ability to flex and return to its original shape, as well as its second locking gate to keep your items all in one place. That flex in the gate is actually a good moment to explain why PETG is our recommendation for most of prints on this list. The key property we're concerned with here is ductile strength, or a material's ability to bend under stress and return to its original shape without fracturing. PLA is generally more rigid and great for detail, but repeated stress will crack it rather than flex it. For anything with moving parts or live hinges, PETG is a more reliable choice. Now, as a trade-off for nicer finishes that come with matte and silk filaments is often the strength of layer bonds. So I'm curious to see how the Unveilform blends hold up over time. In theory, these should be more reliable than matte or silk PLA, but this will require more testing to determine if PETG suffers from the same pitfalls. Anyways, back to the list. Here's something you'll want on that carabiner, a key organizer. This is one of those upgrades that doesn't seem important at first, but once you use it for a while, it's hard to go back. I don't know if you're like me, but I can't stand bulky keychains or the sound of keys jangling around. With a key organizer, everything gets stacked into a compact, controlled form factor, quieter, less bulk, no more loose keys, and less risk of scratching your phone if they happen to share the same pocket. I found this design over on Printables, and it uses a couple small M3 hardware to hold everything together. This print is the only exception where I didn't print with our new Unveilform PETG, because I wanted to show you guys what some real-world prints look like. I printed this key organizer over 2 years ago, and look at the wear on this thing. I make no exaggeration when I say this. It is my all-time most used 3D print, not just from this list, but out of everything I've ever made. Easily one of my favorites. This was printed in carbon fiber PETG, and if you're looking for even more durability, I highly recommend looking into printing with this stuff. Just be sure to use a hardened steel nozzle with these more abrasive materials, and use a minimum 0.6 nozzle to avoid clogs in your printer. Next up, a tiny set of calipers for your keyring designed by Jada Prints on MakerWorld. This falls into the category of tools you don't think you need until you actually have them on you. Obviously, this isn't meant for any precision work, but it's perfect for quick checks, sizing up a bolt, checking material thickness, or figuring out what size hardware you need when you're rummaging through that unruly hardware bin in your shop. The fact that this lives on your keychain is really the whole point. Your actual calipers are back on your bench. This one is always with you. It's a small thing, but you'd be surprised how often a quick measurement comes up when you're out and about and don't have your tools with you. From there, we move into some more tools, and this one's a pocket ratchet screwdriver. This one combines printed parts with standard hardware using metal screwdriver bits inside a 3D printed body. It's compact enough to fit in a pocket and a unique idea for useful quick fixes, getting into tight spots where full-size screwdrivers won't reach. I love how this entire ratcheting mechanism is printed in place as well, and the storage compartment was clearly designed so you can pop your bits out easily by pushing them from the back. This isn't about replacing a full toolkit, it's about having something useful on you when you need it most. The internal bit storage is a nice touch, allowing you to work on a variety of things, just with a single tool. Similar to the ratchet screwdriver, this next print also uses standard screwdriver bits, but has a few more tricks up its sleeve. This multi-tool, called the Essential Daily Tools Keychain by Emmanuel, packs quite a bit into a small form factor. You've got a single bit storage that slots into one end for tightening bolts, a child-safe box cutter that folds out into a locking position, a tiny micro drawer for storing small things like meds, and a ruler on the back for quick references. And something I thought was a nice touch, a shopping cart coin is built right into the body. Mind you, a little trickier to get off, but you could actually skip item number 1 on this list if you go ahead with this instead. What I like about this print is that it consolidates a lot of the small utility items that people might reach for into one thing that you can clip onto a keychain or toss in a pocket. It's a good example of how 3D printing lets you combine function in ways that just aren't common in mass-produced products. Next, a small snap lid container. Spare meds, SD cards, screws, earplugs, small hardware, anything you don't want to lose in a pocket or rattling around in the bottom of a bag. This tiny portable storage container by Middle Punked on MakerWorld is small enough to clip onto a keychain or tuck into a small pocket. And the snap lid keeps everything secure without needing a zipper or a latch. I use mine to store spare earplugs in travel bags. Since these disposable ones usually come in bulk with no dedicated case, this is a perfect solution if you want to reuse them without getting gross at the bottom of your bag. Having a container size exactly for what you need is one of those small quality life wins that's easy to take for granted, but simple to solve with a 3D printer. I love the variety of designs available online, and some of them are even parametric, so you can quickly whip up a custom box whenever you need one, whether that's for a first aid kit, small electronics, or whatever comes up. If you're into DIY and making your own wearables or utility gear using Paracord, you'll be happy to know you can also print the hardware to go with it. This magnetic bracelet clasp by Branddog93 embeds magnets into the assembly by using a pause function mid-print to press in some small magnets that keep the clasp together. The clasp is small enough to work for bracelets and necklaces, and printing your own means you can fully customize both the look and the function. You can also tweak the sizing and colors to match the rest of your setup. I've seen other creators share designs that are more like a traditional buckle style clasp, but I wanted to give this magnetic one a try. Unfortunately, the 6mm magnets I found the clasp was a little too weak for my liking, but there is an 8mm option as well that should be stronger. These clasps are lightweight, fast to print in batches, and make a great gift idea for Paracord bracelets, especially for people who are into outdoor or tactical gear. While we're talking about Paracord, here's a couple bonus prints worth making to go alongside these bracelets. First is the Paracord Jig by iQlix on MakerWorld. The adjustable rig lets you fix your Paracord projects to a specific length and keep everything under tension while you work. If you're making more than one braided piece, this removes a lot of frustration in the process in making a repeated, consistent fit much easier. And when you're done, the perfect Paracord Holder by Snail keeps your paracord organized between uses with no tangles. It's especially useful if your cord didn't come on a spool, and it works with a variety of sizes and lengths. Print one of these to tame your paracord mess and have your materials ready to go whenever you need it. Jumping back into our list, of course, it wouldn't be a proper EDC video without talking about pens. This bolt action pen by Gunnar Lee on MakerWorld is designed around the Pilot G2 pen. So you're essentially printing the body and reusing the spring and the ink cartridge from the original pen. I found this design also worked with other types of pens, including my personal favorite, Zebra Sarasa Dry gel pens. The bolt action mechanism is satisfying to use, and because the whole body is 3D printed, the color combinations are endless, so every print is unique. I've made a few of these as gifts, and they always land well. It's one of those prints that people who don't follow 3D printing at all still appreciate, because it's clearly something handmade and functional rather than just decorative. PETG is a good call for durability here too. Pens get dropped, tossed in bags, and the bolt action mechanism in particular can crack under force if printed in PLA. So the extra strength in PETG really makes a difference here. And finally, it only makes sense to end with somewhere for all these items to land. An EDC catch-all tray gives you a dedicated spot to drop your keys, wallets, tools when you walk through the door. So when you're heading out again, you know exactly where to find them. No more patting down your pockets or retracing your steps. This topographic tray by Semolsky comes with a few different sizes on MakerWorld, and I think it looks great in this blue metallic silk and matte black PETG combo. For pieces like this, trays, coasters, desk organizers, here's a tip. I always like to add adhesive rubber feet to the bottom. It stops it from sliding around, and it gives the whole thing a slightly more polished feel. I've gone with a simple open tray here, but I've seen other designs that incorporate modular compartments so you can have a designated home for every piece in your kit. And honestly, this is a big part of why I love 3D printing. The ability to customize your gear, personalize the look, and decide exactly how you want to organize your life, all of that is on the table. You control the design, the materials, the colors, and what works best for your needs. A catch-all tray felt like the right one to end on because everything we covered today eventually ends up here. So let me know your thoughts. Would you consider 3D printing any of these? Or do you have ideas of something that didn't make the list? Drop a comment below and share your idea to the community. We'd love to hear from you. All of these models featured in this video will be linked in the description, along with a link to Unveilform's new line of matte and metallic silk PETG if you'd like to try them out for yourself. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like. And if you want to see more like this, hit the subscribe button, tap the bell so you never miss when we drop something new. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.